Wagwan, my G's, what you saying, fam? Let's go, baby. We got another episode of Plat Chat coming straight at you from the source, going out that cooking pot.
Again?
Bro, we got the gumbo, we got the spices coming out, we got everything.
Gumbo.
What episode are we on?
My G's.
Wagwan, my G's. What episode are we on, Matt?
Episode Wagwam.
That's not how you. Okay, well, you're a simple man. So the first topic we got today that we're going to talk about, I want to dive straight into this one. Obviously, a lot has happened. We've seen a lot of Overwatch games. The Overwatch League still happening, believe it or not. And we actually get to see Dallas play for the first time in quite some time. And this is the first thing I want to talk about because Dallas Fuel.
Well,
a lot of us minimal expectations coming into this.
It's the first time they win in a long time.
Okay, so let me just set the scene, the context as well. Every other team playing comps that kind of revolve around Torbjorn, Reaper, that sort of stuff. In the Asian regions, you're looking at, Sombra Reaper, stuff like that.
Some Doomfist Reaper as well. That's what Dallas actually played in the game where they lost against the Gladiators.
Yep. But Dallas Fuel decides to instead run Decay on Tracer and somehow squeak out a win.
So what was your reaction when you were doing the companion stream? Because I was watching it, preparing for Watchpoint, and the entire game, I mean, clown fiesta, but in a good way. I don't know. It was
it
wild.
Kind of wasn't even a good way. Like most of the time, it was pretty boring, and then when Decay popped off, it was
incredible.
Yeah, but there was
the shatters too.
Yeah, there was some good shadows as well. Gamsu hit a lot of good shadows.
But the series was just it was like so ridiculous because Decay either popped off where the Fuel won the fights or he didn't get anything, and then the fights were blowouts in favor of the Valiant. Yeah. Like it was all determining on whether he was able to get things done as Tracer. And that's why it was so risky. I think I saw Arrow tweet out about it after. He's like, yeah, we knew it was risky, but it was the best chance we had. So
yeah, but sometimes it was just like borderline dumb. Because like,
the whole time it was.
Okay, no, like 75-80% of the time, it's like, okay, you can make it work. But then it's like, oh, we're going to force Tracer on point C Eichenwalde and try to work her way in. And then they ended up winning that map because of it. And it's just like, okay, so you just, I mean, I don't know.
But that is also fairly good. Like, that's kind of what teams a while is just find something that is good for them and just run that. Like, don't run the other stuff. Just
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why are we faulting Dallas for this when we were criticizing Houston for the longest time for not playing to their strengths?
Well, I will say though, I am going to fault Dallas for it though, because you needed your Tracer to have a KD of 3, hit every other pulse bomb, destroy, and you still only won in 5. So okay, good try. But unless Decay can be an absolute
he murdered on a level we haven't seen in a very long time, and they barely won.
I think we haven't seen a hard carry like that since Corey pulled out the Hanzo against the Vancouver Titans.
Wow.
You remember that? You remember that unbelievable performance from Corey?
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen it since then.
When was the last time Dallas won before that match?
302 days
Stage 3,
before.
Right?
Was it stage 2? I'm gonna have a look.
I think it's like early stage.
Or I think it was like
it was stage 3 week 1. It was stage 3 week 1, and they beat the Washington Justice, and they've just lost everything since then.
Wait, no, really?
Can you imagine not winning a game for almost a year?
Like... Okay, so here were their last wins. They beat the Washington Justice stage 3 week 1. Before that, they beat the Florida Mayhem in stage 2 week 5. They beat Houston at the Dallas homestand. So since the Dallas homestand, they only won 2 matches against Florida and Washington,
which don't count.
Yeah, basically.
Those don't count. Yeah.
Wow. What do you guys think about Harry Hook then?
I mean, what do you want me to say about Harry Hook?
I had this debate with my
I like Harry Hook.
Do Dallas have the worst support line in the league?
Yeah,
with Crimzo and Harry Hook, or Crimzo Closer, or whoever they want to run.
Yeah,
I think they might.
So.
Even compared to Boston, at least Boston have Myeonbong.
I think their team, though, outside of that, is I think made us some pretty good pieces. Their tank line and their DPS line, I think I quite like it. But
it's easy to say now that they're made up of good pieces. You saw them play well. I mean, before that,
no. Even before that, I would have said that Gamsu and Note were a good duo, and Decay and Doa are good DPS players. Like
I don't know whether Note can. I don't know. I'm still unsold. I'm not sold on Note. No, it's got to be down there.
Ryan Zarya, like he's just very he's just so tied to Diva as a hero. Like what happens this week, right?
Did Dallas even play this week?
I don't know, but you've got your one win for the year, so pack it up, Dallas fans.
Yep, that's it. The Dallas
Harry Hook going to Valorant, and then a win, and then a high note. He's like, I waited on this bench for like 500 days to finally play a main support game. Wasn't he? Yeah, he's out. He's out.
They play the Justice. They play the Justice.
Dude, that's winnable. Except I don't know what I don't know how good Note is at Diva. Sorry, at Sigma.
Maybe
sure
Note plays Orisa.
I don't know. Note plays Orisa.
Yeah, maybe Note plays
last
Orisa.
year. They did last year. Remember on Paris, Note used to play Orisa.
Yeah,
Can
maybe Note
Gamsu
plays
play
Orisa.
Sigma?
And Gamsu plays Sigma.
Didn't Note play in Canada World Cup this year, past year? I googled Canada World Cup.
But Canada absolutely blew this year.
But they didn't even make it to the bracket, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They mega sucked. I can't even remember whether they played Sigma.
All right, let's. I mean, this topic is it's over. You know, we're talking about World Cup now. Like, come on, guys.
Well, I just want to point out as well that Doha absolutely had a great match as well.
Yeah.
And Doha actually in the game against the Gladiators also had a great match playing the Doomfist. So it's a duo, you know, like even though Decay did genuinely hard carry, Doha's still right there alongside him, not really getting dragged along. He's still punching.
All right, sorry, Josh, I'm yawning because you're just so fucking boring. Anyway, let's talk about the Asian regions then, because we see a lot of their games being played. And I quite like what we're seeing so far from the Asian regions because there's seeing these metas developing on either side. You got the Western teams that aren't really leaning into the Sombra being played that much. Don't start yawning as well, bro. Yeah, I know it's late at night, but the viewers are probably going to be watching this in the morning. But it's interesting, right? Because the Asian region are playing a lot of Sombra compositions. The Western teams seem to be, kind of staying away from it because they feel like they figured it out, and they figured out that you can just counter comp it with Torb, which is why you're seeing so much Torbjorn being played. This is what I kind of wanted actually out of the Overwatch League again, was these kind of regional differences. It's quite interesting. What do you make of it, Matt?
It is interesting, but I watched some of the Chengdu Shanghai game today with Josh, and it was just, I mean, Look, there's different levels of gameplay. I would not say that is the highest level. I probably wouldn't even go to say Chengdu's was toward the medium level of gamelay. I would say it was chaos. It was really chaos.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
Players just everywhere. Like there was one time on Volskaya, Molly's on defense playing Zenyatta. He's the only one alone. He's the only one alone on the high ground. Yeah. He's like it's like he's playing ranked and playing for picks. He dies immediately and they win the fight. Like
they still win the fight.
It's entertaining.
The thing about Chengdu Hunters, though,
some of those games are just ridiculous.
I feel like Chengdu as well, though. If Wrecking Ball's banned, you just kind of need to write him off for the week.
Yeah.
But if he's not banned, Chengdu are just going to come out, and you never know when they might just sneak up and just.
Well, I'll tell you what as well. You only just have to write them as well. They can still surprise because they nearly won the game against Guangzhou, and I love two really close maps.
We need a segment on this show just called Jinmu's Play of the Week. I think Jinmu just needs his own Play of the Week.
Jinmu Sombra was the most tragic thing I have ever witnessed.
Was bad as well.
Jinmu on the Sombra. He runs on the first map. He just throws his translocator up and it EMPs and he hits nobody.
Bro, I mean,
it doesn't hit anything.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you could definitely tell he's uncomfortable playing that role, but God bless him, he tried.
Yeah, he tried.
He tried and he got swatted down, didn't he?
I think Jinmu, out of sheer playstyle, would be better at Reinhardt than most DPS heroes.
Maybe. He would have your style of Ryan.
But it's just some of the plays are just like you can't even. They watch them today, like Josh is doing this stupid analysis stream, whatever, for some views and some money, you know, and he's trying to break down these plays. I'm like, there's no breaking this down. These plays are just it's just shit. Like,
so you think
really was. Like what?
What, Johnny?
So you think they're like legitimately like power ranking like 14, 15, like down there in the trenches?
Well, the sad part is no, I don't, because they're still beating teams. That's the bad part. They're
just beating each other, like, so we don't know.
I was doing a companion stream last night, and someone asked me in my chat, they were like, where do you rate Chengdu? And I was like, mate, they go in the Chengdu zone. They've always belonged in the Chengdu zone. That was where they've been born and bred. They're in their own little special unit.
I think Chengdu and Houston both can't be power ranked because they Chengdu are just like they just try always to play anti-meta comps, and so you just can't predict them. You don't know whether they're going to win or lose.
Our power rankings are going to look ridiculous. We'll just have 2 teams down at the bottom in the Chengdu zone, which is Chengdu and Houston, and then we'll have just a bunch of teams just spread out randomly.
Did you guys watch the? Sorry, go on.
It's all right. I lagged for a bit there, so I didn't know whether I was interrupting. I wanted to talk a little bit about the meta differences though, because I was talking to Neptuno this morning. Neptuno hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I want to talk through our Chengdu game because it was so mental. You know, when the Charge played against Chengdu." And he was like, "We're not playing against Chengdu again in this meta. There's no chance we ever play these compositions again. So I'm not going to give away anything. So why not run through the entire match?" So I was like, "Oh, hell yeah." So they said they didn't even think of Torbjorn. They were like, we didn't even, who would think of putting Torbjorn in a comp with Reaper? So the Chinese teams, none of them played Torb until they saw it played in North America. But when they did see the Torb being played and people tried it out in scrims, they said they were still pretty easily able to beat it with the Sombra Reaper because it just ends up being like ult cycles where you dominate because you have the EMP. Even though it's harder to win the neutral fights a little bit, you can still kind of get around it. And once the ults start getting in play, you win.
And then he said Chengdu came in and played Genji and they had no clue what happened.
And then he was just explaining how horrible it is to play against Chengdu because you've never played those comps before, but you have to kind of wing it.
Did I see them today play when we were watching the game? They played like a Sombra Torb at one point. Like they were playing like
mate, who knows?
Sombra Torb.
They played a Torb 76
Chengdu.
with Chengdu played Torb 76.
Chengdu kept playing Torb Soldier 76.
Torb 76 double shield.
Yeah, double shield.
Yeah. With a Baptiste.
Yeah, Baptiste and Zen. Bro, it's so much damage. So much damage.
Anyway. Like if we played that in comp, I would have fun.
Yeah, they were putting the Sigma on a high ground with the soldier and just shooting at them angles, setting up a crossfire with the turret.
Can you imagine if we played that composition in like Plat? Like we would laugh our asses off. Like I bet the Chengdu guys in TeamSpeak or whatever, like Chinese TeamSpeak, are just laughing their asses off as Jinmu just blades in. Just like Jinmu dropping a turret on the payload and Among sitting there. I would have so much fun playing Soldier Torb. Are you kidding me?
Oh, what do you think about Ating? That guy played...
cool name, that's it.
He played against Guangzhou, but he didn't play against Shanghai.
I heard
the name. I wouldn't. If you hid the name, I wouldn't have known the difference between the name and.
I think Ating is a serviceable. The trouble is, Ating now has not. He doesn't fit in. He's got the same problem as Jichiren, where he doesn't fit into the chaos that is Chengdu.
I forgot Jichiren existed.
Yeah, right. But like, I think it's a similar issue, right? They picked up Ating because they needed a consistent main tank that they could swap in when Wrecking Ball wasn't available, or just.
But why do you need a consistent main tank when you don't have a consistent team?
Just as a backup, okay? But the thing is now, the thing is, Chengdu have now basically just been. I think originally they did not set out to play like this. They were forced to play. They were forced to play chaotic because Jichiren did not have a visa.
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but that's so funny that Chengdu came in with this idea of being a really good team, and they're like, "Guys, we're gonna play the meta. We're gonna be great. We're gonna win this season." And at some point, they just had to become a troll team. They just had to give up. Like a coach had to seriously sit down with the team and be like, "Guys, we're a fucking meme."
Dude, my piece is outside. I think.
You know what I would pay money to see? So they've always struggled, Chengdu, to get like a second overall good main tank, whatever. I got the perfect man for the job. I would pay money. Dude. I would start like a GoFundMe so the Overwatch community could fund together so we could see Numlocked on the Chengdu Hunters to be the main tank. So like you ban out the wrecking ball.
That would be horrific.
No, you see, I would love that.
somebody
Numlocked with Jinmu and leave, just frag him out. That would be incredible. I would pay money to see. Just to see like the team banner, like the starting lineup, like Jinmu, leave, Numlocked. Like that would be incredible.
I would just love to be the Chengdu coach, like I was saying on Josh's stream earlier. Like, you come into the office, Tuesday morning, like, guys, what do you want to play this week? And Jinmu just strolls in late. He looks like he just got off a bender, and he's just like, I'm just gonna play Genji. Or, like, hey, what do you want to play on Route 66, Jinmu? Farah. We don't think Farah is that good right now.
All right, I want to give
EMP nobody. That's fine.
I want to give a little special shout out to Medici's Neapolitan Pizza Company for the best pizza I've found in LA.
Good pizzas. I actually had it yesterday for lunch.
Bro,
They're
I've
not
had
a
it
sponsor,
every
though.
single
They're
day
not a
for the last week.
They're really good.
And they are really good. Some would describe it as sex big dick, and that brings us on to our next topic, which is the elephant in the room, the big old sex big dick. So
That was so funny.
So this happened. Presumably, the league has decided now to just open up match chat because we're missing a lot of post game interviews. You're missing that sort of personable scene that you would often get from the in-game LAN environments. So now they've opened it up, but presumably there was either a loss in communication or they just messed up. I don't know who the onus is on, but we got some fucking quality memes out of it, didn't we?
Where would you rank sex big dick among the things that we've seen during OWL, like the funny things?
I mean, I don't even think it's that bad.
Is it up there with like the prophet middle finger?
The prophet middle finger is a classic.
That's like classic.
What
I
are some of the
think
ridiculous
sex
things
big
happening?
dick is almost funnier than the middle.
Sex big dick is funnier.
It's so stupid. Like Prophet flipping the bird is like, all right, okay. He was just flipping the bird at the coaches. But sex big dick is like, why'd you even write that in the first place?
I think it's so. It's
What are some of the odder things happen? You had Johnny say fucking MacGyver or Maverick for no reason.
Dallas versus the Fuel.
Dallas versus the Fuel.
You got Baby Bay calling into the show, mad at Bren.
Baby Bay calling into the show.
Cursing, yeah.
I forgot
I can't
about
remember
that.
what he said. Oh, he said, Brett, you ain't shit.
You ain't shit.
You ain't shit.
Mufin cursed in a post-game interview. Voldemort cursed in a post-game interview.
Voldemort.
Bro.
Sex big dick though may be the funniest one because
it's just so dumb.
It's a perfect combination of a Lastro, a player who probably a lot of people didn't know before this, who nobody knows his personality whatsoever. It happens in match chat. Like it's not even, and then it just happens at a completely like unexpected time. It wasn't like a timeout or anything. Like both teams are coming out of the spawn getting ready.
It's a competitive match.
And he just makes sex big
I was
dick.
dying though when Super was trying to wrangle everybody in, and then Rascal typed something at the end afterwards. What did Rascal type?
I think Rascal wrote the same thing. He wrote sex big dick.
And then Super's literally typing in the chat like, "No, you idiots!" He's like trying to keep them on lock.
And I
bro.
loved Lastro's like saying goodbye. He wrote like bye in the chat like last time, like fine. Like,
That was funny.
Yeah, man.
That might have actually boomed them though. That might have
I
boomed
was
them.
thinking that, right?
Yeah.
I was
What do you
wondering.
mean?
No, but like imagine playing a competitive match and then Lastros just sitting there shitting himself because he's about to get fucking booted from the team.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck. Oh shit, oh shit.
I did
Shiba.
I didn't think it was so funny that he was typing sorry.
yeah, he did it like 1,000 times.
He did the copy paste sorry just like repeatedly. Yeah.
I think the fine makes sense because you just can't do that. I do hope though they leave the match chat on because I think a good aspect of it was like when Carpe told Corey to sit during their game. Like that was like funny.
That was really good.
And I think now
I also liked when Note kept getting hammered and he was typing in the chat, no, please, no.
And KSM said he had a stack track hammer and he kept putting the number of kills he had with it. Like I think that stuff's fun. I think we just need to have the kind of line, the barrier.
If anything, it showcases players' personalities more because I feel like with a lot of the interviews that we did, or that we will eventually do again, hopefully, presuming that this entire thing blows over. It's pretty hard for them to, I think, to speak their minds and actually be entertaining when they're stood in front of thousands of people with a mic in front of their mouths, you know? It's a
Yeah.
lot more of a natural environment to just shit talk in the chat because we've all done it since we were 11.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I quite like it. I do find it weird though that did I miss something? Like I didn't realize that. Did the league even announce that match chat was going to be on?
I think
like
the players knew from League Ops because they probably needed a way to confirm pauses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like whether there needed to be a pause, so that's why it was on. And then now the players know it's on, obviously, and they know it's on stream. They're all just like, "Hey guys, look at my stream. Hello, everyone."
Yeah.
I mean, I think a majority of players won't actually type anything. Like we saw most of the games this weekend. It's just like for the rare occurrence when like Carpe types sit, where it's actually hilarious. But for like the playoff games, I don't think players are gonna sit and talk in all chat in playoff games.
But imagine if they did.
They will, dude. They will, dude.
Oh,
They will.
wow.
Well, that's where it sort of loses a bit of its appeal to me. Like it's a semi-final, and it's like the hype is about, it's a semi-final, sick gameplay and all that, and someone just starts saying some dumb shit.
Well, it depends
it's a bit
what it
distracting.
is. Like, for example, if Carpe typed sit to Corey and that was a playoff game, that would be even more hype.
Yeah.
Because it's trash talk. But if they're just typing dumb stuff like, haha, lol, you got owned or something, then it's
whatever.
Yeah, then it's stupid,
no, it's a
right?
yep cock. That's the meme.
That's
They
the
just
yep
they all-
cock.
they all-
Yep.
yep
Cock.
cock.
Yeah, I think
that
it
would
depends
be
what you
fun.
say, because the sit moment would still work really well in a playoff game, because it'd be like, oh shit, like he's talking crap even when there's so much on the line.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, speaking
But
of
like
playoffs,
the stat track kills in semis.
Yes,
speaking of playoffs, do we still think Philly are a playoff-worthy team? Because I think in the previous episode, a couple of episodes again, we thought Philly were the best team. I think a couple of you guys said Philly's the best team in the world.
Hold on. So as the
Playoff
host,
team.
hold on. Yeah. Hold on. As the host, you say that a few episodes ago we were discussing is Philly the best team.
You
Then
said,
they
I
win
think
a-
Matt.
then
You
they
said,
win
I
a-
think you said Matt in your
Then they
exact
win a
words.
game.
Philadelphia Fusion are the best team in the world right now.
But I'm just trying to explain. I'm just trying to understand the logic of the way you asked this question. So we've discussed, are they the best team in the game? They then win a match 3-0, and then you ask if they're going to make the playoffs.
I'll be honest with you, Matt. I'll be honest with you, pal. I have not caught up with that match yet. I haven't had it. My
that
sleep
explains
pattern's
it.
been late at night. Yeah,
I'll tell you, it was an absolute stomping.
It was slaughter.
brutal.
Was
Yeah.
it Jesus'
yeah.
debut match? What did you think about him?
Oh, he was pretty
Played
sick.
fucking Reaper, dude.
Yeah,
Carpe was better on the tour, but he was probably the best tour we saw all weekend.
he was. Yeah, Carpe dominated.
Philly
taking little off angles, getting hits. I think
Philly's sick still.
I was having this argument with my chat. I feel like you have to say Philly are the number one team right now because they're the only team where we've seen. They're the only team where you could make that argument and we've seen more than 2 matches. Because the other two teams are Titans and Seoul, and you need to see more than one.
And
meta
you've seen
from a
them.
team.
Yeah.
And you've seen them in different types of metas. You've seen them with the Winston. You've seen them with slower stuff with May. You've seen them now with this, and they've been able to
The
kind of
counter argument though is that they're getting fed easy wins from the Atlantic division.
Yeah, I mean, they lost to Paris, even though that was like a one
That was
fight
a 5.
loss.
Yeah, that was a 5-map series, and they've beaten New York, so they have beaten another good team. They're 5-1 at the moment, but again, they're getting fed easy wins.
Yeah. It's a complicated situation. I don't think like there's a definitive right answer, but I feel
When
like
do we see Philly play against Pacific teams? Like, when do we actually see whether they?
I don't think anyone knows.
Oh, really? Is there not a schedule that?
I don't think there's a schedule that far out, right?
I will say if Philly wins against Paris and Atlanta this week, then they are definitively
Yeah, they just have
number
the
one
schedule
team.
for this next week coming up. I would agree with Johnny. I think if we see them really like they dumpster Paris and they beat Atlanta, like it's kind of hard to make the argument at that point, even for Seoul or the Titans. Although we will get a look at the Titans against the Charge and the Hunters.
Yeah,
Yes.
but even if they don't completely stomp both of those teams, I don't really take too much value in those wins compared to beating Paris and Atlanta. Because I think Paris and Atlanta are like legit top 8 teams, while the Chinese teams are sort of like middle of the pack, kind of, you know.
I don't know about that. I
Something a
think
little
the
bit.
Chinese teams. I think we just haven't really seen the Chinese teams play against the other teams to be able to tell how good they are.
True. But I mean,
So-
you're the one who's VOD reviewed, so I trust your opinion.
Well,
If you tell me Guangzhou is like the 3rd best team in the league, I'm
no,
like,
they're
well,
not. I don't think they are. But I think that once you start getting like top 8, that's where it gets super blurry. It's like, probably they're a top 8 team actually, but it's hard to be able to tell because you're comparing them against regions they just have no data. Like it doesn't interact at all.
Shanghai is definitely top 8. I think.
Yes, and Shanghai look good except when they're playing against Chengdu.
Yeah,
but that's the other thing. Chengdu make all of the Chinese teams look bad. Seriously, and I think that you would have the same thing if Chengdu were like a North American team. The North American teams would be playing against Chengdu.
What city do you think Chengdu would represent? I think like Milwaukee. I think.
Yeah,
Milwaukee Hunters.
Or, they sound like Chicago, right? It'd be the Chicago and the Hunters.
Yeah, the Hunters and the Huntsmen. Yeah.
Well, you got to think of the play style. Like, what play style represent the city?
Move Chengdu.
What's a really silly city in America? Like, it's just mental. Like New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Hunters.
The New Orleans Hunters, dude.
No, I'm Googling USA map. We're about to go some complete.
This is GeoGuessr. This is what Bren's been doing all
GeoGuessr.
Yeah.
Maybe like Kansas City or something.
Well, what do you know about Kansas City, Johnny? Why have you just picked that random?
I picked Kansas City because their football team is a bit all over the place. They're kind of crazy. They're in the middle of nowhere. There looks to be a lot of desert along the city. Not a lot of altitude. Probably a lot of Bud Light going on. I think Jinmu might be a Bud Light kind of drinker.
Yeah, I see that.
Maybe Among doing some like PBR or some shit. I don't know. So Kansas City is a pretty good shout. Maybe like Nashville.
Ooh, Nebraska,
like
dude. The Nebraska Hunters.
Minneapolis, Minneapolis Hunters, maybe. Something like that.
Like
South North Dakota. This kind of area.
I think the Quebec Hunters would be fantastic.
That would be great.
Because it's super confusing that you have a little part of France embedded in North America anyway. So yeah, the Hunters work perfectly there.
True.
All right then, lads. What do you guys want to talk about now?
Well, I don't know. You're the host.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's address the second elephant in the room. It's not one, there's two. And that's the doom and gloom. Oh, boo-hoo, the tier 2 players are retiring. Bro, they were fucking washed. Get them out, fam. Like, almost all of them are washed, fam. Like, respect to them. They're good players, a lot of them, but a lot of them I thought had already retired. I'm not even joking.
No, I'll agree with you there. I thought some of them had already.
But you can't slander.
Hey, Bren, I got something for you right here,
bro.
Bren.
Okay.
This might be a hot take. You can't slander the legends, bro.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not going to slander people, but listen, I genuinely thought Shadowburn, yeah, legendary player, thought he had already retired.
So did I. I thought that Twick had already retired as well.
Thought he had already retired. Not gonna lie.
I knew that Timmy was playing for.
No, Timmy was
Dallas
playing for the
Academy
Contenders.
Yeah. I found out when we visited Dallas HQ. Thought Vic had quit.
Yeah,
my man.
He's
Bren,
been grinding Counter-Strike.
My man Bren is just kicking these guys while they're down.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying what I think has happened here, and it's like a snowball effect, is that one pro player has announced their retirement, and another one's like, oh, well, I was already thinking about quitting anyway. I guess I'll make my announcement. And it's snowballed out of control, where all these people who we already thought were retired are now just coming out and now declaring it. Obviously because of various reasons, whether or not they're upset with the tier 2 scene, because it's kind of like almost an old age donkey at this point. It's slowly just walking along.
I think you should announce you're retiring from competitive Overwatch, Bren, and you're only strictly a caster from now.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to be after that comment and statement about every tier 2 player being washed, but I think the tragedy, one of the tragic things is probably Sugar Free, I think, announcing his retirement at the age of 15.
But all of these make sense. Like, all of these players.
Yeah, there's none that have been
okay, but you add
Overwatch.
You add like Hip to that list, I guess.
Well, yes, but Hip has not. So we're assuming that the rest of these people are going on to pursue other things and still trying to make a career, namely Valorant, right? Like,
I was going to ask you, what other games are coming out that you could probably play?
Shadowlands, bro.
Yeah, Shadowlands Legends.
WoW Arena.
Okay, but the Hip one doesn't make sense to me. Like, an Overwatch League player going to pursue another esport makes no sense.
He's already said it's not because of Valorant.
No, yeah. So it's didn't want to play. Yeah, I mean, if the other players feel like they can make something happen elsewhere, I mean, I want to see all those guys succeed. Yeah, like I love Taimu, I love Tavik, Shadowbird.
No ill will at all.
Like I want to see them be successful. If that's how they feel like they can be successful.
Yeah, I want to pull up a Valiant stream in a year's time and see Taimu back in Korea, just absolutely 180.
Yeah.
So he's got an operator. He's playing Brimstone. He's put down 3 smokes and he's inting. You know, I want to see that.
You know, all of those old Overwatch players that had already Apex, I bet a bunch of those will start playing Valorant as well.
I think I follow them still on social media. I see them all tweeting about Valorant. So it's the ebbs and flows of how it works when basically you have a competitive title, you have this like cycle of players that eventually drop down into tier 2 or tier 3, and then a new competitive title comes out and they pretty much all move over to that. It happened when Apex sort of got big, when Fortnite were pumping money into their scene. You didn't see a lot of Overwatch players moving over to Fortnite, but you saw a lot from other games moving into Fortnite because of the prize money. And now they're looking at Valorant with the, you know, they're salivating at the chop over the idea of just free low.
I think this is just a weird time, as it's sort of like, it's called magnifies, multiplies, like everything going on. Like this, it's been like this in the past when like even like Warzone came out or like Fortnite came out. It's like whenever a new big title is coming out, people get excited. They talk about it on Twitter. They get ready for the release. They want to play it, and then after like a month, 2 after, it's just like back to normal. But you've added a game to the mix, and it's like,
it's a different type of thing, but like a lot of the shooters that have come out recently have been battle royales. Valorant is a completely different beast, right? Where it's a team game. It's a game that's built off of really like a concept from another successful esport. Riot's extremely successful at all the things that they do as a company, making games, supporting games. So I think it's a way different to compare it to like Warzone release and that coming out. It's a legitimate game, right? That's going to have a scene. So
but I do think the hype will die down a little bit.
Yeah, but it's still going to be a huge game.
I actually
of course. I completely agree with you.
I actually tend more towards the side with Josh, where I think the hype's going to keep going with that game because you're going to have a lot of the streamers who are playing Fortnite who had nothing to play, who played CSGO really heavily before, go back and play it. They're going to get a new, older Fortnite fan base who's looking for somewhere to go. Like you're going to have your numbers on stream and the game as a popularity kind of go hand in hand. And if the biggest people are playing the game, most people are going to watch it, and that's going to keep that hype going.
This is another really important thing to talk about as well, is that even these players that aren't looking to become pro in this game would be probably better served streaming
content creators
rather than streaming Overwatch, because Overwatch is not an enormous game on Twitch anymore. It's pretty big. It's still good. It's good enough to be able to make like a very good career on. We're seeing Super still continue to increase his viewership numbers astronomically. But for a lot of these people, they're hoping to probably ride their success or name value from Overwatch and get a bit of a boost.
If you're a good player, right? I think a lot of people look at the retirements and they're like, oh, you know, Valorant, esports, or just in general. But I think you kind of have to look at it from this angle as well. As think about when Fortnite kind of came out and blew up, it created a whole new group of streamers, and not just like 5 or 10 big streamers. It created like hundreds of big streamers. If you're a good player who can play FPS at a high caliber level, at a professional type of level, and a game like this comes out, you think maybe some people gain some popularity as a streamer because of that, right? So I think if you have that skill set, try and make it as a streamer. Try and make content if you feel like you're just kind of stuck in the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, it deserves to be mentioned that Ninja used to be like a permanent Halo streamer, right?
Yeah.
Was it Halo or something? And then just Fortnite came around. And
he was a pro.
Well, he played a lot of battle royales.
H1Z1. He played a lot of battle royales. A lot of battle royales. It's big battle royales.
But it's like Fortnite came out and just like boom. You know, something happened. Right. And same with Seagull. Like when Overwatch came out, Seagull went from TF2 guy to fucking
TF2 guy with a couple of hundred viewers.
You could say Overwatch 2, like with Tim the Tatman, right? Like his channel was big, but it grew another level, and then it went even further with Fortnite. It's gonna happen with some of these games, right? Like new people, like people are gonna get exposed to different people, new streamers, etc. And if you're somebody like Taimu, right, all it takes is you to be in a stack with Seagull, who's got a few thousand people watching, and then they like you, they think you're funny, they go over to you. Now you have a few thousand people, and maybe they stay, maybe they come back, like, and you can build a career that way. I think when we think about esports and video games as a whole, and this is a completely different topic than what we're really kind of talking about, but I guess it kind of back ends on some of the players retiring, is that it's really not just about being a player anymore. It's very different than what it was.
Got to build the brand, fam.
It's very different than what it was even 3 years ago, 4 years ago when Overwatch released, right? There's so many different avenues with big streaming rights deals, personal sponsorships, and a YouTube revenue, etc. That being a pro player can only be a piece of the pie now for a lot of these people. And I think for some of it, like if you're in Overwatch tier 2 and you have to play, practice extremely long hours, it could affect some of the stuff you want to do content wise, or stream, or YouTube, or playing other games, because that's important to kind of grow your base. And you view this as a start of not leaving to go to another esport, but hey, I can build a career path off of this.
Yeah. I think the thing that's worrying, though, for the Overwatch people who are seeing all of these players leave is not that the players themselves are going to disappear, but that the tier 2 scene was not enough to make any of them stay, in that, salaries weren't there and stuff like that. But I'd like to point to, but I think that this isn't an Overwatch specific issue. And I'd like to point to like Flame's tweet recently where he said, I can play salaries for a tier 2 Overwatch team with no infrastructure, motivation, very low potential return on investment, which is just, those are just true facts. And they also extend to a lot of other tier 2 scenes of established esports. Or I can pay salaries for a Valorant team, get lucky, and find a diamond in the rough and set my footing early for a potential future league. Like it's all about risk reward, investing in tier 2 scenes. And the reward is so much larger on a brand new esport. Tommy, who was a former CS 1.6 pro and was...
Lurpus.
Yeah, Lurpus, yes. Yeah. Lurpus, and who was an analyst as well, posted a whole thread about this on April 5th, yesterday.
It's very difficult to keep tier 2 esports alive in general.
Yeah, and he was saying that he thinks the impact on CSGO isn't going to be the viewership drop, isn't really going to be the player base drop or anything like that, but it's going to be the money that was previously invested in tier 2. If you go to a venture capital firm and say, hey, do you guys want to invest in my tier 2 CSGO team? I think there's good potential growth here. They're going to be way less interested than they were in the past, because they've got that same opportunity but with bigger potential growth in Valorant now. So it's going to take little pieces of the pie from all of these tier 2 scenes, because the potential for growth is just much larger in new games.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys want to talk about Overwatch?
Sense. Yeah. Well, that was a question that kind of devolved into that, because
no shade, Matt, no shade. It was a nice little side topic that we dove into for a little bit.
Well, it says on the script, what does this mean for Overwatch? We went into that.
I don't want to hear you talk.
Do you have any good memories of any of these players? What's your best memory of some of these players?
Taimu Roadhog demolishing in Apex.
Dude, that one clip on Apex, dude.
Yeah, Taimu's jump shot in Apex.
That was nasty.
Who was it against?
Nasty. What, the jump shot? What do you mean about jump shot?
Remember the 180 jump shot when he was being chased down?
Against Bunny, where he destroyed Bunny on Widowmaker.
Yeah.
I was thinking when he played Apex, he carried
the Shadow Burn dance.
Yeah.
Shadow Burn dance, but also those 6 Dragon Blades at the start.
Yeah.
Leaf Doomfist.
Yeah, I remember Leaf's Doomfist being elite.
Yeah.
I remember Tavik at E-League with Johnny, like way back.
What did he do?
He was playing, just like knowing the guy and just seeing him play, like the Reaper with the spin to win at that time with the nano boost with the speed.
Maybe.
Tavik playing the Hanzo as well at E-League.
Yeah.
Like on Hollywood to close it out, I think, in the final. No, that wasn't E-League. That was...
Tavik, bro, you deserve better than being the bus driver, bro.
That was Atlantic Showdown.
Don't ever talk to those people again.
Bro, sometimes I see that Florida Mayhem lineup and I just get sad.
Yeah.
Because it was all your people, dude. Where was my boy Maniton at now?
Bro.
Where's Maniton?
I think he's gonna try to play Valorant too, I think, no?
All right.
He actually has insane aim. I cannot believe he got put on like the off-tank role playing Div or some shit. Because his aim when he came into the league was insane. And then he got put on some back-end role off-tank.
I'd love to see Taimu find success. I think that guy's just awesome.
bit of
I mean,
success.
He's a crazy guy. He's absolutely nuts.
He's just great. He's funny.
All right.
He's
Well,
bonkers.
that was it felt
who
like a
else was there as
funeral.
Oh, we were talking
Gods,
about it.
right?
Gods, yeah,
Gods.
dude.
Gods
Gods,
is so funny.
Gods had some great moments last year. Play, but then on the desk when you guys had him on, like,
Dude, Gods
played.
is funny. He's
He's a funny
dude.
fucking guy.
Yeah.
With a
Oh,
meme
wow.
potential.
Well,
Anyway.
that was it.
Listen, let's. I don't really know how to segue this. So I'm just gonna be straight up. The
Let's
meta
move
this
on to
week.
more positive things,
Yeah.
like the meta.
Let's talk about.
God.
Will it be positive? I don't know. That's what we're here with.
No.
That's what we're gonna decide. The hero pool rotations this week: no Diva, no Sombra, no Reaper, no Ana, no Diva.
Can
This
I
isn't a-
interest you in some Arisa Sigma?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's gonna be that way. We got May back. You've got McCree back.
I think you'll see. Oh yeah, fuck! I forgot my McCree.
And do you think what do you think they'll play with support wise?
Well,
Maybe Bap and Lucio? I don't know.
Yeah.
Bap Zen with the double
Bap
shield.
Zen, yeah.
But I think
Bap
people will
Zen,
play some
double
Bap,
shield.
Lucio, Arisa, and Reinhardt. I think that comp will come back. You know, the week 1 comp where people
Yeah.
play double shield like that. I think teams like Atlanta might run that if it's viable. Which I
Wait,
think
what
it
did
should
Seoul play last week? They played
They played
Bap.
Arisa Sigma with the
be. Arisa
they
Sigma
played
Bap Zen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they played. Yeah, they did play, and then they played some Lucios. No, they didn't play Lucio, did they?
No,
Are
because
they-
it was removed.
I think they kind of slammed with that comp.
No, it's a week
Maybe,
before,
yeah.
right?
So we're all
before that.
just anticipating double shield. I think then.
I
Yeah.
think so. I mean,
Yeah.
what else do you run? Like, you
Yeah.
could run dive, I guess, but I
Ryan
think
Saria?
you get shredded.
Bro,
But you don't have Ana,
Wrecking
so-
Ball's back.
Maybe
Probably,
Ryan Saria, Moira,
Weren't
Lucio or something?
teams playing Lucio Brig
No,
with
you don't
that?
have Reaper.
No,
Lucio Brig with what?
with
No,
the
I,
double
don't-
shield.
I think the only teams we've seen play
No, get
Lucio
off.
Brig was. I think Houston were the only team that played Lucio Brig.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I don't think we're seing Dive this week.
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
we'll see some
spoiler. We're
hands on
never seeing dive again.
Depends on the
I'm
maps.
gonna talk to these people. The people that are like, oh man, we're just a week away from Winston, Diva, Tracer, Genji. Like, hey, f off. You're in another planet, buddy. There's not a chance that stuff's coming back. Like, do you see some of the heroes we got now? Sigma can fly and lift everybody up from the ground and just fucking pummel them back down. May can do it all. Echo's coming in. She can clone other people and turn in other people. You're not seeing Tracer Genji dive anymore. Just give it up. Oh my god, I'm tired of reading it. It's
I'd
not
like to
happening.
see it again,
Sombra, they're making her stronger all the time, and then she
Yeah.
she just goes like this, and nobody can do a thing. Why
Bro,
are
for
we playing
playoffs,
Tracer
for
Genji?
playoffs, they should just revert to the 2017 patch.
They should just remove. It's like they came out with WoW Classic. They should make Overwatch Classic and just come back with the originals. Just get
Dude,
everybody.
I reckon there was some broken comps in the original patches that people just didn't figure out.
Yeah.
I think if you
Probably.
went back to the original patches, there'd be some broken.
Wow, you discrediting us? What the hell, dude? We were smart. We were proud gamers. Don't you dare.
Were you
I
smart?
don't know. I felt like Matt just cleaved my soul into two.
Well,
We did see Soldier
did I say
Tracer
anything?
at
Did
some
I
point.
say, yeah, you can see Soldier Tracer, but these people want this specific. They want
Yeah,
the
they
Tracer,
want
the
Tracer Genji.
Genji, the 76.
So they're not gonna get it this week.
The Winston Diva.
They're only
not
gonna get
getting it
double
any week.
shield.
But I don't want to hear that even entertained again. We're not seeing
So
it.
that leads us into our next segment. Who the hell do we think is going to win in these matches? I don't know.
predictions.
Do you guys know?
I'm gonna look at
The
the
good
schedule
teams.
because I've forgotten who wins.
We did do our
I've forgotten
predictions.
Who?
So the first one is that we have up. Basically, we're only doing predictions for some of the standout matches. The first one is the Vancouver Titans versus the Guangzhou
But you should watch
Charge.
all the matches, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
All
But
of
the
them.
first one is the Vancouver Titans versus the Guangzhou Charge. We all went for Vancouver here over Guangzhou.
Big shock.
Dude, this guy does a stream all day with Neptuno and then stabs him in the back when it comes to the predictions.
I think this could be really close. I'm not high on the Vancouver Titans like everybody else is. I think these games are still going to be relatively close, but I think the Titans should win it.
Do you think Vancouver are Overwatch League worthy?
Overwatch League worthy.
Yeah, do you think they'll make the playoffs?
Runaways not an Overwatch League caliber team.
I think that Stitch and Sominsu get overrated by people. I don't think they're up to the same level as the other hit scans in the.
I've been burned by the Titans fanboys too many times. I'm gonna say no comment on this one. I'm just gonna
No
leave
comment.
it. Yeah.
Did you think
Vancouver's Vancouver's gonna win, dude.
I can see
don't know.
Guangzhou sneaking out a little win. I mean, maybe if Vancouver Titans are like jet lagged still, I don't know.
Jet lag.
Jet lag. They haven't played in a month.
Yeah, maybe.
You think the jet lag is going to affect more things than the hero?
Maybe they're jet lagged.
They've had a lot of time to rest.
I don't know. Maybe they could be. You never know. They could have just been on a boat instead of a plane.
Boat to avoid COVID.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. Anyway, what's the next game we got? Paris versus Philadelphia. I am the only one who has come for Paris Eternal.
I fucking knew it.
I'm actually a Paris fanboy now.
Yeah, explain this.
Explain it? I've got no explanation for you. Because I haven't looked closely at Philadelphia. I think teams are really underrating. I think people are underrating Paris, and I don't think Philly have looked as good as you guys are making out.
I do a head-to-head
Philly
with
clapped recently.
Yeah,
Dude, you didn't even watch the game.
You admitted you didn't watch the game.
Yeah, but it was against like who? Like Boston?
Yeah, Washington. Wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great opponent, but yeah, they clapped.
I love how we do head-to-heads, and people go crazy that I say the Titans could be one of the best teams because in the past I said, oh, maybe they're not that great. Bren literally picks the Paris Eternal and then right after says, I have no reason to pick them. I'm just picking them for the shit. And they're like, oh, that's so funny. Like,
no.
It's just this level, the standard they hold Bren that like, oh, nobody gives a fuck about what he says because they're just like, oh, it's just one big fucking meme. Like, you just say whatever the fuck.
Listen, no one's going to find this funny. I guarantee you the amount of backlash I'm going to be getting after this episode. I called half the tier 2 players that retired washed. I've now claimed to have not watched half the games in the Overwatch League. Yeah, I'm sat here hosting. Like, I have plenty of reasons for people to hate me, but I stand by my reasoning. I think people are underrating Paris. I think you guys are overrating Philly.
But why are they going to win? They can't win because other people are underrating
McCree is back, motherfucker. I should stop swearing. We're trying to get sponsored, but McCree is back. This dude, I don't know if you heard of him. His name's Xe. He's gonna come in. He's gonna click some heads.
Is McCree back, or is everyone gonna play Hanzo?
I think everyone's gonna play McCree and May.
So could he get played?
I think Hanzo May gets played with double shield because it has better shield break from long range as well.
Does it? Depends on the maps, though. What maps are we gonna be seeing played?
I mean, anything outside the range of McCree has better shield break, and you can't get angles to be able to get behind the shields at all. And there's no value.
We don't know what.
My Valorant just updated and said I'm in.
Nice.
Wow, thanks for the update, Matt.
Just so you guys know.
Also, I don't think people will be playing Lucio that much. I think most of it is Zen. There might be a bit of Lucio played, but I think FD God looks a lot worse when he.
You're cutting out.
He looks a lot worse when he isn't on other heroes.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You're cutting out again. I don't know what's wrong with your mic. Maybe you got a very aggressive noise gate.
Johnny went over to his fridge and muted Josh because he wanted to get a word in.
His fridge?
What?
Yeah. Where'd you go, Johnny? Johnny left the show for a bit. You had some celery over there, Johnny? What the hell are you munching on?
Celery!
I had my mic on automatically determined.
Anyway, what is the next game?
Classic.
What? Dude, we are split down the middle. This is the battle of the bottom feeders. Houston versus Boston. We've got me and Matt voted Houston, and you've got Johnny and Josh going for Boston.
Hold on. This is so sad. I am just an older version of Bren, and I know why Bren picked Houston. He probably did it for the same reason that I did. It's because we played CS:GO with Harsha earlier, and Harsha, I was like, "You better not lose to Boston." And he's like, "We won." And I feel bad. I can't pick against your boy.
Actually, no. It was the reasoning. I spoke to Harsha, and I was like, "You better not lose to Boston." He was like, "We won't." That's what my faith is on, bro.
I'm just an older, slightly more experienced, put together version of Bren.
I also think Boston are a little bit still rattled after they've kicked Voldemort out of their team.
Oh, listen, both of these teams are probably going to be garbage in this kind of meta. But I don't know. I think this is an actual 50-50 coin flip.
Is Boston Houston the new Shanghai, Florida?
Maybe, yeah.
Wow.
The thing is, Houston is such a weird team because some weeks they're actually going to
look good.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is going to be one of the weeks.
I picked Boston because of the hero pool where Diva was removed from Meko. They removed Sombra from Dante. They removed what else? They removed Sombra.
This is where me and Bren's logic is flawed because we didn't think about the hero pool. We just thought about Harsha, who's not even playing. He's the coach.
And then they removed Ana from Raucus. So it's like, okay, well, good luck, Houston Outlaws.
Dude, Meko had a fucking sick Sigma though last year.
He did in playoffs last year. Yeah.
Bro, but have you heard about Brusen?
Oh, Brusen is a bit of a
Sigma
beast.
pounds.
Yes,
I'm hyping him up.
I'm a big fan of Brusen, though, Johnny. I'm a huge fan of Brusen. I'm so
Why?
glad that guy's
I want to know
league.
why.
I casted about 50 of his games at the World Cup last year.
We did cast a lot.
We casted almost the entirety of the Netherlands games.
Bren doesn't watch half of the games of the week, but he knows Brusen and he really likes
Yeah, I know
it.
Brusen. Brusen's a bit of a boy.
I think May McCree or May Hanzo is better for Jerry and Colorhex than it is for any DPS duo that Houston can put together.
Yeah.
But
I think
Houston
the
aren't
hero
gonna
pool
play
really
that.
favors Boston.
Houston are going to play Doomfist Sombra.
Doomfist Sombra? What, with Orisa Sigma?
What?
Sombra's removed.
Doomfist Sombra with...
with Wrecking Ball.
Oh, yeah,
and-
Sombra's removed, you Papega.
with Wrecking Ball and Winston.
Well, hold on, we
Sombra's
haven't
removed.
Okay, they're going to play
considered
Tracer
it.
instead. Tracer
we
Doom.
haven't. Yeah, I don't know what the hell he said.
Dude,
With
he's gonna go,
Brig Lucio.
Have we considered that teams would go back and try some of the stuff they tried a few weeks ago with the Rhine, Zarya, Doom, Reaper? Oh no, Reaper's gone, right?
Yeah, Reaper's
But
gone.
what would you even play with that? Could you play like
We don't know, man.
Doom McCree?
Yeah.
Like we just
I
the
don't
only
know.
thing I think
the
we can
May's
bank
too
on is that
powerful.
we're going to see double shield and we're going to see some May back in the set. Anyway, next match. What have we got? What are we working with?
No,
We
you're the
spent the
host.
most
Oh,
time
dude,
talking about usable.
okay, you guys are gonna get so angry at this one.
What have you done?
Vancouver
What's that?
Titans versus the Chengdu Hunters.
Shut the
You
fuck
have
up.
not gone for
Shut the
Chengdu.
fuck
I've gone
up.
for
To be fair-
Chengdu. I've gone for Chengdu. Yeah.
If
Might
they were
happen.
if they were gonna lose though, the Chengdu zone sucks these teams.
I've
in,
got a
dude.
feeling with this game. I don't know what it is. Something deep in the fibers of my bones have told me that now that Wrecking Ball's back, they are just going to poo on the Titans.
It could happen.
I think this is going. I don't even think this is going to be a close game. I think it's
Just
going to be.
Summon Sue and
I think
Stitch.
this is going to be one-sided.
Huh? Hacksaw
It's undecided. I could.
Hold on, you're all talking at once. Josh, you go first.
Hacksaw going to be playing the May, right? That's how that team works. Stitch has a pretty decent McCree. Sominsu only knows how to flashbang fan the hammer. So, do either of them play the Hanzo? I don't know whether they do.
Why are you
but
so
I'm
set
seeing-
on Hanzo being played?
Dude, if double shield is played, Hanzo is being played because storm arrows break shields very quickly from long range.
Symmetra? Jinmu Symmetra?
The Titans make a signing this week for the Bumzo, dude, and they bring back Bumper on the Hanzo.
Bro, can you imagine? They don't even have to ship him out. He's probably already back in Korea.
He's probably drunk on a floor somewhere. Like, yeah, I'll play some Hanzo.
They call him up, hey, Bumper. I'm picking up a red phone. Bumper, we need you. Get cleaned up. It's like that fucking the scene in the latest episode of Westworld.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Westworld.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know what it is. Okay, we've reverted back to season 1 Bren.
We spent so much time on your predictions, and you don't even have a fucking reason why you're picking half the teams.
No, but it makes sense though. I can see this definitely happening because Vancouver's just gonna play their style, and then Chengdu is gonna play all-out dive. So if the meta is actually double shield, then Chengdu is actually playing like the counter to the double shield.
Also, I am waiting for the moment where the Vancouver Titans just blows up internally from Fisher. This ticking time bomb.
See, I talked to some people that know the Titans, and apparently Fisher is really chill this year.
Yeah.
Well, reformed.
He's actually just like super chill. He's just got it knuckling down and doing
Going
it.
about his shit, yeah.
Maybe
Apparently there
okay.
was a
Well, I'm
bunch of
actually
Titans, like juice behind the scenes about their team just having so many problems, but apparently none of it was to do with Fisher.
wow. Yeah, I'm just starting vicious rumors then. Okay,
I also think this is a good week for Chengdu in terms of the hero pool because Jinmu can't play Sombra.
I mean, I don't think they would put Jinmu on Plumber anyway. They're going to play Wrecking Ball comps. They're going to play Double Shield comps, and they're actually probably going to
But
poo.
what do you play? Like
If there's a team that would try and run,
Are you for real trying to predict what Chengdu's going to play? Like, what? Sorry, where have you been in the last hour?
Yeah, sorry.
No, they may play. They may play what they showed this week with the Baptiste Zen with the Orisa Sigma
dude,
with the
I think that's
76.
I genuinely think that's
problem-
too close to the meta.
Yeah, the problem with that is they'll get beaten in the mirror. So they got beaten in the mirror almost every single time they ran that. Actually, they just won when they were playing it as a counter comp.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I can see that happening though.
Do we have another match? Oh, we do. Okay,
Yeah, we got 2 more.
Philly versus Atlanta.
I was
we on
so
this one?
split on this.
You're
I
so
couldn't
split?
decide for this.
I went
took
for
Philly.
Okay, me and Josh went for Atlanta, and Matt and Johnny, you guys are going for Philly.
It feels like a good hero pool for Atlanta, and that's the most annoying thing for me as I'm deciding this.
It's
When
also
I think
though.
they're gonna put Hawk on Sigma and then put Pokpo or whatever on.
I think it's
Gator
also
on
a good
the-
hero pool for Philly as well, though.
Is it?
Yeah,
No,
double
I
shield.
think they want to play Diva.
Oh, Ivy actually did have a really good May.
The
Ivy's
return
May
to
was
double
really
shield, I
good.
think, is good for Philly.
When I thought about it, I was
Poker's been lights out on Diva recently.
yeah. I when I thought about this game, I didn't really consider. Atlanta, we saw them play really good with the double shield the last time.
Ryan
so
Orisa, they played a lot
That's
of.
probably something I should have considered when picking
Ryan
this
Orisa
match.
top. They were like the first team to do that.
Yeah, no, they were good. I'm still gonna go with Philly because I picked them and Kurt has that graphic, and I think Philly is one of the best teams in the league. So
You're gonna leave me here.
No, he said he's sticking with his prediction.
Oh, okay.
He's sticking with it.
But he was going to leave me if he could.
Dude, I know it's tough out there. It takes a while to deliver stuff. You gotta get
Very
some-
close
it's
match
something-
though.
Clean your ears, Johnny. You don't
Dude,
listen half the time.
I'm stuck in downtown, dude. I'm all alone. It's like zombie apocalypse down here. Help me
What
out.
are the
We're
people
all-
like in downtown?
What do you mean? What are they like? I don't go
know.
outside. I haven't seen people in like 3 weeks.
That's
Like the most
good.
I see is like people going out with their dog outside my window and like taking shits and stuff.
That's good. That's
The
good.
people are taking shits.
Yeah,
Outside your
wild.
window?
The
What
dogs
fuck?
are cleaning up after them. They're just the dogs walking around with bags, just.
Why are there
cleaning up.
people shitting outside your windows?
Isn't that what Shih Tzus were bred for eating
Yes.
shit?
Apparently, that's the argument, and I can believe it because I own. Well, I don't own. My
Nods
family.
towards Beth.
My family
Beth
have. My family have a Shih Tzu cross with a Westie, and my God, that dog loves to consume feces. You take it
So
over
it
the
only
field.
eats shit, but only when
Yep.
it's facing west.
It literally, you take it for a walk over the field, and it finds some horse poo, and it will just roll around in it. It revels in the filth.
I could literally see myself playing World of Warcraft at like 1 or 2 a.m. with Matt on Discord, and Matt would drop the line just like, I'm thinking about getting this dog so I can sit at the PC and shit while playing WoW. Like that's what that's a Matt Morello line right there.
I love to sit here and play games. I have the self-control to get up and go to the bathroom during the gaming session. I don't need an...
How many months of quarantine would it take for you to just consider setting up some kind of porta potty at the PC?
We don't got
Oh, Shadowlands coming out, bro! Got the
dude.
portable
When
potty
does
out?
Shadowlands come out?
Tomorrow for Valorant, I'm considering it.
Shadowlands Alpha this week.
Beth is like, what the fuck? What is this fucking portable potty doing?
Wait, when does Shadowlands come out?
Shadowlands Alpha this week. They announced a bunch of the abilities, the new abilities today. They're crazy.
Dude, I will actually play the new WoW expansion. I'll get back
Dude,
into
I said
retail.
earlier we should do the 4 of us and Beth do a role playing WoW leveling up session with Josh.
Yeah,
Josh
that'd
can
be
play
fun.
a little. He can play a little gnome mage.
There's actually, you could make a character that look like
That
Josh.
looks like Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. You really could. Anyway, do we have
Are they
another? We got
called
another
frogs?
match, I think. What have we
Yeah.
got? Oh, okay,
Yes.
this one is what? Actually, I'm quite surprised that we've all gone for this. This is the San Francisco Shock versus the Gladiators. We've all,
We all took
gone
the
for the
Shock?
Shock.
I typed the gladiators in, and I sent it to Kurt. And then a few seconds later, I was like, I don't know. I feel bad about it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because there's
for
a
some
world.
reason.
There's a world where the Gladiators just take it.
For some
There
reason, I'm
definitely
still yo, absolutely. For some reason, I'm still tied to the Shock, and I don't know why.
Lucio's
But what
in,
does
so they
the
can
Gladiators
actually-
play? What comp does the Gladiators play if they win this match?
They'll play like an Orisa Sigma or a.
What does their DPS play? Because that's what I'm worried about. What does Mirror and Birdring play?
Yeah.
To win this match.
Well, you
No,
can
Jaru plays
Jaru.
the-
Jaru
Jaru
will play
plays
like
the May.
May. Yeah.
Jaru is their May player. So they
Jaru
can
will play
that.
May, and then Birdring will play like a Hanzo or a McCree or something.
And that's where I start to get worried. Because I'm like, I don't know if I trust them enough with that composition against the San Francisco Shock.
Oh, who are the Shock gonna play in terms of damage dealers?
Whoever the fuck they want. Put Violet on DPS. I don't care.
They run Sinatra on May again?
Yeah.
Because that didn't look amazing.
Bro, Sinatra's playing Valorant.
Amazing.
Pardon the pun. Pardon the pun.
Good luck with that one.
Honestly, Sinatra could play Doomfist, and I just wouldn't just do it.
Is Sinatra even going to be playing? Is he even scrimming after that?
Playing Valorant, fam. Streaming 12 hours of Valorant a day, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, you could stream 12 hours of Valorant a day and still play scrims. Those are not mutually exclusive.
If I was a coach and Sinatra wanted to play 12 hours of Valorant, I'd still play him. He's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
as long as he's physically able to play, he's in my roster. I don't care.
Rascal Striker or something is still a
yeah.
But okay, so we're all under agreement.
Architect's Doomfist was pretty ass.
They've been playing Ants a lot. That surprised me.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much playtime he would get. He hasn't been bad when he's in.
He's been pretty good.
He's been pretty good.
I watched some of the
His
replays.
aim is sick.
His aim is ridiculous.
You can tell, but that's where I think when we talked about tier 2 a little bit earlier, I think you'll find a lot of newer Overwatch League players coming from the ladder and just because some of these guys on the ladder, Ant's one of the players that he plays in tier 2, but I think he got big streaming and then playing on the ladder.
Yeah. It wasn't very notable in tier 2.
No, it wasn't very notable in tier 2. But you can tell the guy has mechanical skill. Just put him in a team with some coaching and get him in line, and you can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
You guys want to do power rankings?
I think we should. I think we should. I think we should split it though, because
the Chengdu zone goes with Chengdu and Houston down at the bottom, and then we'll split it between Asia and America.
Me and Josh do the Asian one, and Matt.
No,
and
I just
Johnny.
mean that we should split the power rankings. I don't think we have to split the opinions.
And why would you get to decide what half of the league looks like? Because you don't even watch the. I mean, you're casting the games, but I don't even trust you to watch it.
Because I'm smart, bro.
I
Which
watched
one do we
Bren.
want to start with?
Bren did the least committed companion stream I've ever seen the other night. He was playing GeoGuessr.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, somebody in his chat's like, oh, you gonna do a companion stream? And he's like, oh crap, Overwatch League is on. Yeah, sure, I'll do a companion stream. And he just put the scoreboard there at the bottom. He's like, oh, I think I can get a few games of GeoGuessr in before it starts up. He's like, literally just so he can put himself in the Overwatch section to just get some views. And
I'll tell you though, Matt, I didn't even do the full games. I
know. You watched one game.
I went to bed halfway through the last one.
Yeah, I know. You didn't even so half-assed. Like the Brenlets get unserviced compared to Josh's the Scrum Squad, which is
I just wasn't feeling it. Anyway, let's start doing power rankings. Okay, so we're sorting it between you got the Asian teams now. You want to include Seoul and Vancouver Titans in that, and London as well.
Yep.
Throw
them in there as well.
And that's
what about New York? Wait. I think you should throw New York in there as well.
In the Asian teams?
Yeah, because they're in Korea right now, and they've tweeted that Jonak's been tweeting from Korea.
Jonak has been in Korea. Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean, New York haven't announced anything except for saying that they're taking a break. But yeah, I mean, presumably they're taking a break to go to Korea to set up their player stations to actually play. They're not just going to take a break for the entire year, surely. I mean, that would be bonkers, wouldn't
it? Jonak's going to announce he's going to Valorant.
It'd be fucking cool, though. Jonak could be like,
it would be cool.
Be cool.
How cool if the 2018 MVP team just decided to. Oh, well, peace, guys.
Yeah, no. We're too good. We'll sit this one out for a bit.
Who the hell is left on the West Coast? Shock, Gladiators,
Atlantic
Valiant,
teams?
and Dallas.
Well, we can't do just West Coast. We'll have to do North American and Asia.
North America as a whole.
But they're not playing against each other.
They must do at some point. They're not just gonna.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
not
so,
true
because of the
they
ping.
might not, but.
All right, here we go.
I don't think so. I think they're playing in little bubbles. Anyway,
here we go.
All right,
We're gonna rank
let's start. The Asian teams. Let's start here with this. Okay, what do we think is the undisputed top team right now? Kurt has shifted Chengdu to number one.
Oh, get Chengdu in their own Chengdu zone.
Chengdu and Houston down in the Chengdu zone.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
Region has
it's gotta be. It's gotta be Seoul, Vancouver, and New York, right?
Yeah, but I think it's that order personally.
Bro, I think Shanghai have been looking pretty sweet.
I think Shanghai, you could argue, are above New York.
Yes.
I think Shanghai.
New York's 5-1.
Yeah, but it's 5-1 farming lesser teams. Like, who have they actually won against?
The second best map differential in the league.
Yeah, because they're farming lower level teams.
So they get to play against Chengdu now.
Yeah, they're gonna potentially lose. I think you can put Shanghai, but here's the thing: I don't think you can put Shanghai above Titans or Seoul at the moment because they lost pretty heavily to Chengdu in the mirror, and they also looked a little shaky.
I would say I'd be okay with Seoul, Vancouver, NYXL Dragons.
I think the Dragons are better than NYXL.
Dragons are definitely better than NYXL. In my opinion,
definitely is a strong word.
I would say definitely. I think that people think that these Chinese teams are worse because they've just been playing in this circle of death with Chengdu, and Chengdu drag you down to a lower level and beat you to death with weird comps. Like and it makes teams look worse than they actually are. But when teams actually play properly.
Have New York beaten any teams we would consider top 10 teams?
I don't know. Can somebody?
I'm gonna have a look. I think they have not, but I'm not totally sure. Okay, so week 1 they beat London, then they beat Boston, they lose to Philly, they beat Houston, Florida, and Washington. No, they have just clowned on the lower level.
Good teams.
They beat London, Boston, Houston, Florida, Washington. I mean, they could not have an easier schedule.
Even I can't look at the camera with a straight face and defend that. That's
I mean, even though they've played a lot,
if you wanted to put Shanghai above them, I wouldn't be angry. But I do think it's a little disrespectful.
Yeah,
no, it's not. I don't think it's disrespectful at all, bro. Like, I think it's more disrespectful to Shanghai. Like,
what I mean?
What do you mean? What I mean?
Why is it disrespectful to Shanghai?
Because Shanghai have actually played recent games. You have the most recent information on them, and arguably they've been playing in a harder region than New York has.
Yeah. So what happened in that Chengdu match when they lost 3-0 to Chengdu? What actually happened?
So they started off playing Diem and Ding, and they tried to mirror Chengdu.
Yeah, they played far and shit, right?
Yeah, they played far
dive.
Yeah, well, no, well, yeah, it was a mirror. I think Jinmu, as far as I can remember, was playing the Faro as well. Well, maybe not actually. No, I can't exactly remember because it was a
I thought they played like against Genji Tracer on like Nepal or some shit.
They did. But yeah, Jinmu was definitely playing the Genji at some point. Yeah, but they tried to match them and they basically just got outplayed. They also subbed back in Flutter and Lip and they still managed to get outplayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the one match that kind of worries me about Dragons. But then they just owned this past week. I'm like,
what do we think though? Behind New York, because we've got Dragon on 3.
Yeah. Do you rate London? Well, it's London, Hangzhou,
Guangzhou, and Chengdu.
I mean, Chengdu's in their own Chengdu zone, right?
Yeah, Chengdu's in the Chengdu zone.
To rate them.
I think
I would be tempted to go
London after that.
No, I'd
rather put Hangzhou. I think
it's Hangzhou, Guangzhou, London. In my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think the London.
To be fair, it's close, but I do think that's the right choice with Hangzhou and Guangzhou after.
Yeah, we can go with that then.
All right,
Hangzhou recently beat Guangzhou, but that was super close. But then they lost to them recently. I think both of those teams are almost exactly even. I don't actually know which is better between the Spark and the Charm.
Do you think the teams?
Do you think Hangzhou missed Ria when they played Sassen instead?
We heard so many good things about Sassen last year that he never played.
Yeah. That's a weird one. I think there's a reason they're not playing Rhea, but I don't know.
I heard he has wrist issues.
Yeah, it could definitely be some sort of health issue.
Could be true.
I also heard that. So, but that, so.
I might have heard it from Sideshow's chat.
No, well, I did not hear it from my chat. I have not told anybody that Rhea had wrist issues but since you brought it up, I will also say that somebody did tell me.
The thing is, I can't remember who told me, so I haven't upset anyone.
Johnny, mute that part of the show. Is that Scott Kennedy in that box? Who is that?
Let's do the West Coast. I know you guys want to do all of North America, but I think it's easier to sort the teams that actually play against each other.
So what do we do? Rate 4 teams?
You could immediately just put Dallas to the top. Get those boys a little bit further down.
Dallas at the bottom, even though they won.
What is it? Shock the 2 LA teams in Dallas?
Yeah, shock the 2 LA teams in Dallas.
Gladiators over Valiant.
Bro, we've got to do the whole of America. We can't just be rating
Gladiators.
4 teams.
No, I'm down to rate 4 teams. This is funny.
This is lazy.
The Gladiators.
I think it's impossible otherwise.
Gladiators over
Impossible.
Yes.
I do the daily weekly 1 through 20 rankings every
That's
week.
impossible.
That's
That is
impossible.
impossible.
Yeah.
That is hard. I
nobody
put
pays
myself
attention to
out
them.
there every week, and I don't complain about shit or try to divide. I do it because people tell me to do it.
Yep.
I just think it
you
doesn't
put so
make
much time
sense.
into those, but these are the official ones.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to do power because they're not playing against each other.
They have played against each other at some point, though, have they not?
Very long ago. Very long ago.
How would you rate? Okay, is the Dallas Fuel? No, I'm not even gonna make that argument. It was dumb. I was gonna say, are they better than the Valiant? But no, we know they're not.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think they are.
But so you want to put, despite the fact that the Fuel won
Gladiators.
against Valiant, you want to put the Fuel below Valiant, even though they won.
Yes.
I do. I do. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Look, when you haven't won in almost a full year, one win's not gonna save you.
Yeah, one win in the last year, and it was a 5-map game where Decay has to carry unbelievably. Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah,
they're going underneath the LA
I'll
team.
still put them underneath LA, and then I'll put the Gladiators over the Valiant and the Shock at the top.
I almost want to put the Gladiators above the Shock.
Okay.
Even though you predicted the shock against Gladiators.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
until they actually do it, I think you have to put the Gladiators on top for now.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I just peg it out and forgot about that. I completely agree.
Interesting.
Because the Gladiators, I don't even think that the Gladiators are like an amazing team, but I think at the moment their record shows them to be a good team.
They're good. Yeah.
And the Shock kind of beefed last week, so let's see whether the beef continue.
Okay.
Now
the other section.
That was simple. Pacific.
There you go.
The other section is a little bit more complicated. So let's start with the top team out of this. I'm only going to list the top teams for you guys, so it's easy for you guys to remember. Philly, Paris, Atlanta. And that's pretty much the top teams I would consider. The other teams that you've got.
I mean, you just listed in order. It would be Philly, Atlanta, Paris.
I think Philly, Paris, Atlanta.
Yeah, I would make
because
the
I don't think
argument for
Atlanta
Paris
have done
second.
enough yet.
But I'm not going to put much input into this because Self-Proclaimed didn't watch most of these games because I've been on a weird
I mean,
schedule.
look, you can start putting the cement on the Boston in 20th place. Then
Yeah,
they
you
may
want
not
Boston at bottom?
They may not move.
Okay,
for a very
and
long
then
time.
Houston?
You may as well lock
Houston
that
are in
one
their own
place.
Chengdu zone.
You want Houston
Houston's in
down
the
with Chengdu?
zone. Yep.
Yep.
So,
Houston's
okay,
the
put
Chengdu
Boston
zone.
back up.
I might put Washington below Houston.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying is that Houston I don't think we can rate properly.
Yeah,
so
they're
they
in the
should be their own
Chengdu
little
zone.
But do you want Washington below Boston?
Did you see? Did you see?
Don't do that.
Houston's match against
Don't do
Paris?
that. Don't do that to Washington.
I think
horrible.
Toronto are better than Florida.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Toronto's better than the Justice.
Yeah.
They're better than Florida. They are probably right underneath now that top echelon.
It does make me a bit happy to just see all of these Florida Mayhem fanboys backtracking after going into the season, talking so much good shit about that roster, getting like one win, and then everyone just like, oh, this is the year for Florida Mayhem, and now they're just.
Do you remember the people that would? Do you remember Yiska started this campaign, Race the Florida Mayhem, see how many wins you can get? You had to lose like a kilogram of weight for every win they got. Mate, I've seen Yiska recently. He looks exactly the same size as he did before.
I already put on it.
Yeah, the Florida Mayhem, they are losing that race. They are losing that race.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
It's a bad race. Who's your player of the week, Bren?
Wait, hold on. So you guys are happy with this power rankings that we got then?
No, I want to integrate Pacific into the North America.
Okay, well let's do that then. Let's start to merge these two. Gladiators. What team
Matt
do you
has
think...
World Quest to do.
Okay,
I
Gladiators. What team do you think they're better
Gladiators-
than?
I think they're above Atlanta at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, Atlanta is one of those teams that haven't really beaten N1 noteworthy anyway, right?
But I think
did they lose to Paris?
Yeah, they lost to Paris. They look good, but they haven't actually proven it.
would you
with
put
results.
They beat
Shock.
Florida. Florida who? Florida.
Florida, Washington, something
Florida,
like that.
Boston, Defiant. They beat
Florida,
Boston, Defiant.
I will say Atlanta. If Atlanta beats Philly, they will jump up a lot of these power rankings.
For sure.
Or Philly would also, I think, move down a bit as well, maybe. They wouldn't
Maybe
be
a
so
little
cemented as
A
number
little,
one.
yeah.
So the Shock, though, as a result of this, because you put the Gladiators above the Shock. So where are the Shock here? Are the Shock still above Atlanta? Do they fall below it? What?
No, they're not. None of them. Well, I don't think they're above Atlanta.
I think they should be above Atlanta. I think Atlanta haven't really proven anything yet, and at least the Shock have beaten. Wait, well, actually, no. The Shock have beaten Dallas and Valiant.
In a head-to-head, I would probably predict Atlanta. It depends on the meta, of course, but yeah.
I think I would pick the Shock in that game.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, though.
Yeah, it is close.
I don't know. I'm happy either way. I don't really think it can be that easy because they haven't really, played the same teams or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think the Shock are good until they have a bad read on the meta and don't have Lucio. Like they came back in this week and they kind of dominated the Valiant. So I'm happy that the Shock got back on the train pretty quickly.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm honestly expecting them to win against the Gladiators this week and move up the rankings. But for now, I'm all right with them being underneath Atlanta because I think they'll prove that they deserve to go upwards. But at the moment, it's just a gut feeling that
so
I
we're
have
all in
based on how they
agreement?
play. Or what do you want? Under or above Atlanta?
I think above.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. The next one is the Valiant. So the Valiant, I would quite happily, I think, put them below Atlanta. And that's where I'd leave them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Johnny?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I would also put Dallas just underneath that. I know that this
Dallas
might be a bit of a hot take, but I think Dallas might be better than Toronto,
Better than Washington, Toronto, Florida, and Boston.
I think Dallas, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it may come down to just Decay and Noah, and I'm okay with that.
Dallas had like a fairly close series against the Shock to start with. They won a map. They should have won the first map as well. They keep having maps that like they should win. They had 2 maps against the Gladiators that they should have won, but they threw away. Like they played as good as the Gladiators. It was super close. So I think that Dallas Fuel are either serial chokers or they actually might be a fairly decent team in disguise.
I agree with that.
They're playing against good competition. I think the Atlantic Division's the weakest.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Well, we've cemented it then. We have we have the definitive power rankings of 2020.
Posted on Reddit.
We have the third division that we've now made.
I guarantee you,
future commissioners, the Chengdu zone.
if these get posted to Reddit, people are going to be like, Houston on 20th, because they're right at the bottom in their own zone. They're just going to read into the ranking itself.
You need to put a lot of tier markers between them.
I would love to see a Chengdu and Houston division where they just play each other infinitely over and over again each week until somebody's mental just cracks. Until somebody's mental just cracks.
Yeah.
All right,
or they just form into one team, the Chengdu Outlaws.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment ever. Ever.
There we go.
It's my player of the week. I don't know if we've got the video or the song.
When you don't even watch the games.
Oh, it's a video. It's which one is it going to be this time?
It's my player of the week.
I don't think it played audio, but I just peeked my little wee head around and went back in the door. I said, it's my player of the week. So my player of the week this week, a lot of people said, it's got to be Lastro because he said the naughty word. No, gremlins, it's not Lastro. My brain is much bigger than yours. Instead, I have gone for the much superior pick of OG, who has decided to come out with one of the most fire tweets we have seen in such a long time. If we could see the image as well, please, Kurt, if we could just view it. Sorry, Dallas Fuel fans. Just wanted to talk about what I need to do. Still need to fix my nervous problem and my mechanic. I'll get better for next time. Stay safe, everybody, and have a good day. And the image is him standing on his old Dallas jersey after he has just beaten them. This is the most Alpha Chad move I have seen in quite some time. I am so pleased to see this on my feed.
Yeah, that is kind of ridiculous. Did you also see the tweet from Deepay as well?
Oh, Deepay was a close second.
Dude,
Deepay was a close second.
Fire tweet, also talking trash. Let me read that one out as well. He said, GG's Dallas, I think we could have played a lot better. I'm not saying that as a classic coaching statement for motivation. Since we didn't play our best, I think they had hoped that they could win. Next time we meet, I wanted them to know for a fact that it's a loss before we even play.
Oh!
I thought that was some straight fire coming out.
It is, dude. It is.
There's one thing you can count on Deepay for, check. And it's that fire.
You knew OG had those tweets just fucking lined up.
But like, what makes you consider doing that? Just like standing on a shirt. It's like,
don't know.
I think it's like this. It's a sign of disrespect.
It's a disrespect. Yeah, it's a disrespect thing.
You're standing in your old jersey.
But it's just, I'm gonna go stand on this jersey. It's
I
like,
love it, man. I love it.
Yeah,
it is weird, isn't it? It is tinged with a little bit of oddity. That's also why it's so good.
It's beautiful.
Decay
It's
is
art.
definitely going to feel robbed, by the way, Bren. That he drops like the most ridiculous hard carry in Overwatch history in 2020, and you give it to OG who stood on his own.
Yeah,
jersey.
you think Decay's watching this show?
Well,
No,
actually, a lot of pro players do actually watch the show, and I do wonder how many of them.
Oh no!
I do wonder how many of them actually want my Player of the Week award at the end of each week, and if they hold it in a high regard. I hope they don't.
Arrow uses it as motivation this week. Like, hey, you were great this week, but guess what? You weren't Bren's Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're finished here.
Yeah.
Matt, you want
It's
to talk about
bedtime, boys.
Paladins?